Hi, welcome back. It's Laura over at Hyperstamper, and this is a journal I've had up on Etsy, and I just decided to take it and give it what I'm calling a bump up. So I added a lot more to the cover. Didn't change the price at all. It's still ridiculously cheap. And if you go over to hyperstamper.etsy.com, you'll find this. And don't forget, shipping is included in all of North America. So let's show you my revamped cover here. I've added this new bangle here, which has lots of vintage jewelry, beads. Look at how stunning that is. That's some gorgeous bling there. And the spine is from the original vintage book, America's Garden book from the 50s. And I just think it's awesome. This is a vintage clip-on earring. And I added that up here and added some gorgeous vintage work down here. Crochet work, and then this is an antique handle from the 1800s, and this is from an antique doily up here, and I added some more crochet doily down the side of some of the pages, and it is gorgeous. And look at how thick this one is. It is super thick. It is actually over, it's 3 inches thick, and the front is, let's do this fast, 5.5 by 8.25. Okay, let me show you the inside again real fast. I'm going to jump right to the back on this one and show you the bonus journal in here. And I made a pocket out of Canadian birch bark here. And this cover of this little mini journal was pulled off of an antique wooden suitcase. And I was trying to refinish the suitcase, and I decided to keep the fabric that covered it. So I just made, I just made this little miniature journal here with lots of little bits of antique paper, all authentic, and each page is a pocket, and there's journaling tags in there made out of antique paper, little pocket here, vintage stamps, shorthand pages. Look how cute! All kinds of fun little things in here. Secret garden pages. I just think it's fun. You can take this and give it away, gift it, or use it as a little secret journal inside. So that's at the back. I'm going to go through this very quickly. If you follow me, you'll know that everything in here is already authentic and antique and vintage ephemera. A few tea-dyed pages. There's some antique paper here. There we go, 1952, this book. Vintage sewing pages. That is actually not tea-dyed by me. That I received it by them. It's one of the Nilsson Chocolate Factory hand-typed recipes. And we don't know where it came from, but it's very cool. 1950s Theater Arts Magazine, 1930s Monopoly Money. And this is the cover from the World Stamp album from the 50s. Isn't that cool? I really, really like that a lot. I just love how colorful and it's so epic of the 50s style of publishing things. There's one of the 1890s watch guard dials. And there's one of the pages from this book, American Garden book, for journaling on. And let's go over here. Here's a really fun receipt from the 70s, the original carbon paper in a pocket I made from a doily. Beautiful children's book page. Look at this awesome dust cover from a vintage book. I just think it's fun. I thought you could do a lot of journaling in there. And here's an 1890s stereoscope. Look at these two little kids peeking through a newspaper. Isn't that adorable? It actually has quite a bit of value, that one, I found out, but it's yours. This is just another 1950s embroidery book, knitting book page of little children. And here is an epic page from the 1928 Billboard magazine, and really cool and interesting thing in there from the Roaring Twenties, pocket made out of a children's book page, antique. And here is a page from a vintage book on antique furniture. Isn't that cool? And this, pièce de résistance, this is an antique map from an antique geography book, and it is of Europe. Isn't that amazing? This is from 1904, this book page. There's the back side of that wonderful dust cover, and there's a secret pocket here. You can put anything in it. 1938, Paris, France Almanac book page here. And then we've got, oh my gosh, I really stuffed this one like crazy. A vintage card here. In this pocket, I've got a vintage bird book page that I made into pockets inside from an 1850s antique page, and put in more vintage paper there for you to journal on. There's just so many secret fun things in here. It's just nuts. Another 1953 receipt from a milk company, and a little plate here from an early 1900s book. And that's in that little double pocket here with a vintage earring up on the paper clip. Woo, okay, still going strong. This is just some dried hydrangeas that you can remove and reuse. A vintage Dr. Seuss book from the 70s. And here is a plate from the garden book here. Oh, actually, that might be an older one. That's from the early 1900s. Sorry, there's that wonderful. Wow, this book has lots of covers in it. That's really cool. That was not on purpose. I'm just noticing that now. Here's a antique song page. Look at this squirrel from a children's book page. I made a pocket out of there. And of course, back here, look at this wonderful photograph from the 1920s. That was in that photo album that I continue to use of Joan's family. The mysterious Joan, J-O-A-N, her family. And more, a vintage botanical book page here. Look at this one, a vintage sewing pattern cover that disintegrated, but look at these children, how to make pajamas. And this is epic from the 1955 Polish embroidery book. Look at the stunning colors on that plate, the original plate there. Just beautiful. Aw, I really love this book. Yeah, and yeah, from Reader's Digest, a little book to their members from the 1950s, I believe. That's from 1907 down here, and another 1850s book page back here. Lord, look at this plate. Oh my Lord. Like, that's very, very special and precious. And then we're at the back with that little book. So I'm going to put that back on Etsy, hyperstamper.etsy.com. It's remember, it's sort of 2 journals in one. And I hope you'll visit and subscribe. See you soon.